Welcome, food lovers. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Today we're making a delicious dish, and it's to help make him fall in love with you. Who wouldn't want to once you make him this dish? So, it is called, if you wanted the moon, Mediterranean Roasted Pork Tenderloin with a Fruit Chutney. That has a huge long name, but it's worth every single word. It's delicious. So, Fruit Chutney. First off, everything to make the chutney goes into a saucepan. So we're starting off with cherries. And the cherries aren't in season here. Actually, they're rarely in season here. I'm in Canada. So I'm using dried cherries. And these work perfectly well because they will be reconstituted with all of the liquids. So it's absolutely perfect to use the dried cherries. So I'm just going to put these straight into the little saucepan here. Next ingredient, I have diced onions, and the onions are going to go into the saucepan as well. So these are all the ingredients to make the chutney. Next ingredient is sugar. So if you have raw sugar, that's great because it's better for you. In this case, I don't, so I'm using white processed sugar. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that. So when I cook, I always say cooking comes from the heart. And so baking is a science. Everything has to be exact, but when you're cooking, it doesn't. Next ingredient is grated ginger. So that's ready to go in there as well. The next ingredient after that is called apple cider vinegar. I love the smell, and it smells like apple cider. Actually, I'll put some in and I'll save some for me for later. And so that's the apple cider vinegar. The next ingredient, which is key, and it adds a little bite to this, it's mustard seed. So we'll put that in, mustard seed, followed by ground cinnamon and allspice. So this is going to have a zest to it, a definite bite. And so all of those go into a saucepan. And then it really takes no time at all to make this chutney, at all. It is very quick. So all of the ingredients are all in. And then the next ingredient that we add, so we heat that up a little tiny bit, and then we add tomatoes, freshly diced tomatoes. And so all of the ingredients all come together to make a delicious chutney. And it just takes, let's say, 10 minutes to make it. And then the final product looks like this. So it has a delicious zest, and it's sweet, it's savory, and it kind of reminds me of cranberry sauce a little bit, but better, much better, because it's savory. And then what we do is we marinate the pork tenderloin. So this chutney serves double duty. So it serves as the chutney for the pork tenderloin. It also serves as the marinade as well. So the marinade goes in with the pork tenderloin, and so we'll just put some of that in there. Now what I'm doing is I am marinating in a ziplock bag. And so when I use ziplock bags, I turn the ziplock bag, the top, like so. So you don't get anything on the edges. So what I'll do is I'll put some of the chutney in there. Delicious. And then after that comes chicken broth. I like to use organic low sodium chicken broth, so that goes in there too. And then a little bit of oil. The recipe calls for olive oil. I like to use avocado oil, but it's really entirely up to you. I like to use oils with high smoke points. So there we go. That is your marinade, all ready to go. The reason I like to use a Ziploc bag is because it makes it easier to massage the pork tenderloin. So you can just easily go like that and massage to your heart's content. And then if I was eating this sooner than later, I would let it marinate at room temperature for a short while. And the flavors are imparted that much quicker when it's at room temperature. But if I had more time, I would refrigerate it. So overnight would be the best, actually, as far as flavor is concerned. Now, Once it has marinated fully, you remove it, pat it dry, season it with salt. I use Himalayan sea salt. That's my favorite type of salt to use, and it's very good for you. I always use freshly ground black pepper, and in this case I'm using dried thyme, and I just find that it works better as far as baking is concerned than fresh. So salt, sea salt, black pepper, and thyme. They all, you season the pork tenderloin with all of those ingredients, and then you fry them for a short time in your cast iron pan, my favorite pan to use, and then you bake it in the oven. And that's about it. It doesn't take any time to bake at all. It bakes quickly. Don't let your pork tenderloin dry out. That's the key. Once you take it out at about 155, 160. It's really up to you. That's an internal temperature. And then tent it, and then it will continue to cook by about 5 degrees. And then, once you're ready, slice it, serve it with this delicious chutney, what's left here, and voila. This is the final product. So, you will impress your guests with this. Pork tenderloin with a delicious fruit chutney. Enjoy. I know he'll love it for sure, and it will make him fall in love with you. Thank you.